This video is about Furbies who glitch out. It's a 1999 model of a Sherbert. If a Furby was made in an RL factory, that they had this RL glitch, because RL factory is where they produce Furbies who glitched out, and they had problems with their chipboard, and they just started glitching out. So this is how you check if your Furby is an RL. You take them, and you look at the bottom, and right there's like a little bubble. How I usually get him back to working is that I spin the motor every single day, and it goes on through various resets, and you'll just get this one reset where you can wake him up naturally. You don't have to reset him, and he won't glitch out. It's like he gets into a certain mode where he just does not glitch out anymore, and you have to go through various trial and error to get him on that right mode. And then when you take out the batteries, it resets the modes and he goes back to glitching out. And when you reset him, it does reset the modes and he'll go back to glitching out. So I try not to reset him that much when he's working. On average, it takes about like 1 year to try to get him working. Just spinning the motor like every day, trying to get him back to working. So it's not really worth that much time when usually batteries are only good for like 9 months and it takes like 1 year just to get him working again. You can see in the battery pack, but even with new batteries, he does not work. He still garbles. And sometimes when he holds notes, I don't want the speaker to burn out, I don't want the motor to burn out, so you have to immediately reset him. Like I said, this is my only Furby that does this, so not all 1998 or 1999 Furbies glitch out this much, and he now has like different tones and different pitches to his voice, so it sounds very weird because his voice ranges up and down. Each and every time he glitches out, it gets worse and worse. The intensity gets worse, like he starts screaming worse and worse and louder. It's also very hard for me to wake him up. If I leave him on his side, he won't wake up on his own, and I have to literally shake the life out of him to get him to wake up. And sometimes I can't get him to wake up unless I just reset him, and then he starts glitching out again. So like I said, I have owned him for 5 years, and I have gotten him working, and he's a great Furby. He talks to all the other Furbies. He does work for a certain period of time. There's no cure if your Furby has this similar problem as mine. There's only like temporary solutions. There's no cure to cure this like chipboard as far as I know. And you can't replace the chipboard because it's all stacked up on everything. You would have to replace like the whole Furby.
Okay, bueno, hold on. Bueno.
So I think that's enough proof that you need on how glitchy he is. So I'm going to take him apart. His microphone wire has come disconnected, and somehow he's still working. I'm not going to reconnect it because he still hears well, and honestly, I don't even know if I can ever cure his glitchiness, and the microphone wire did not cause him to start glitching out. This microphone wire came out while I was fixing him, and he has gotten fixed without this microphone wire attached, so I don't really know exactly what this thing does, but it doesn't seem to affect him in any way. So I also lubricated in between the eyes, up here, here, up above the motor, not on the motor, then there, and I hold the Furby like this in case any lubricant drips, it won't drip on the chipboard. Now I'm going to try rubbing alcohol on his chipboard, and maybe that'll work. So I think that may be corrosion. It seems to be coming from right here. I'm going to just remove that tape. Hopefully that was just causing the glitching. This chipboard up here with rubbing alcohol. I just kind of dabbed it on in front and on the back of it. Did do it like all the way inside there with rubbing alcohol on a paintbrush. And then I cleaned the terminals right there with rubbing alcohol. I also did these 3 over here. I don't necessarily know what this one is. So I'm going to take my air compressor and dust him off a little bit. On a speaker because maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's why he's garbling. And I'm going to run him as a mute and see what he does. Yep, he's frozen again. Okay, so the speaker has nothing to do with this. So I cleaned the motor insert with rubbing alcohol right here and there and inside. Okay, when I put my paintbrush right here, it actually sizzles. So I think there's a short right there. So I'm gonna look into that. And R32 started like sizzling and making a weird noise. And underneath, right underneath R32 is solder joints. And I think they might supposed to be connected. Put the rubbing alcohol on it. And I heard that sizzling, maybe it fixed it. I think I've hit something when I... Sizzling. Taking out batteries, and I just felt right there, and I have burned myself, actually. So it is extremely hot. I think that's where the short is coming from right there. I am going to try tinfoil at the bottom to see if I need to solder something. Okay, so I am doing it with just some Scotch tape. So I might put the tinfoil on the top. At this point, I am just desperate, so this is why I'm playing around with the boards so much. Because honestly, I want to fix this short, and if I can't, then I'm just to stop working in general if I can't fix it. I'm gonna try the sink screw. Loosened it and tightened it. It seems to not be doing anything. Okay, so I put some rubbing alcohol on the sink screw and the contacts. Maybe it'll pick that up and... some rubbing alcohol on the gears because I think the motor is too lubricated. And he's always been like that, where he won't close his eyelids all the way. They've always been really, really loose. Like you can like barely touch them and they move. And with this Furby, you really have to the motor for like 30 minutes right here and right here with the batteries out, and I'll see if that does anything. I am going to spin the motor with the batteries in, and I might do it for 30 minutes. So I noticed that 20 minutes into me spinning it, it became increasingly looser, as if he was actually trying to spin it, but there was no vibrations. He did not come on by himself, and his speaker, there was no noises or anything. Furby, and this one does not glitch out, and then this one is also an RL Furby, but this one does glitch out. I don't think this Furby can detect if the motor stalls and stops working and freezes up, because it would turn off or reset. It wouldn't just keep humming and screeching. So this is leading the driving transistors on the chipboard to overheat. I think that's what is causing the short on this side of the Furby. I heard that with these Furbies, it's usually the main daughter board or the language daughter board on the back of the actual circuit board. These two parts are the ones that usually glitch out the most or have a short in them. So I did clean both. I cleaned that one and the one behind it and behind both of them. And I also cleaned these two, which is them just soldered onto the board. Okay, so I've now taken apart this one, the one that does work, and I'm going to compare the two and see if it's anything different. Here's the one that does work. Here's the one that doesn't. This one actually looks dirtier than the one that doesn't work. Those two little joints. That looks a lot different. Almost tape right there. Looks like a wire or a piece of rope. And then this one does not have that. And I don't think that's supposed to be there. I don't know if you can tell, but I pushed it down more. I honestly don't see where it would necessarily go. Maybe this is a long shot, but I am going to remove that with some pliers. This is what the two pieces look like removed. And then that piece as well. And I made sure to fully get it off with the board. You can see that looks like an acid spill. I did get them to do this with some tinfoil at the bottom. So I'm going to try this tinfoil. So this is basically like CPR, the only way I know how to shock them back to life. Ow, okay, it is hot. I think when I removed this, it caused a whole short to the chipboard and it just ended him. Because when I was even playing with it with the screwdriver, he was not coming back on. But yet when I used tinfoil, it burned me, so that indicated that it does have a short. He was actually sparking at me, which shows that he is dangerous, and I'm probably gonna stop working on him completely. But I knew I did all I could, and that he would eventually stop talking because that glitch would eventually burn him out completely. I just kind of quickened the process.